Okay, so I start with learning outcome 3. So I hope the Khalid and Yusuf, you can hear me well. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So let us look at that what is the learning outcome 3 about, which is uh, be able to implement an information project, implement an information system project in line with an agreed project plan, project management method. So we discussed the project systems, the information systems structures, scope, success criteria, and in learning outcome 2, we discussed the methodologies, yeah, and then we discussed something about the feasibility study, the requirement capture, and so those were focused on later on after getting the requirements to implement an information system using, and by implementation would be based on a design, coding, testing, development. You need to evaluate it whether it is performing well, get the feedback, test it, and probably you need to change the requirements. You could consider the scalability of the system. You could fix the bugs into the system, plan any maintenance, provide the support to the users. So let us and start the one by one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Implementing a project. Project management stages are basically the initiation phase. When you want to implement, you come up with an initial idea. If you have an idea, then you define what it is, which comes under the definition phase. Then how you can do this, it comes under the design phase. Then in the development phase, how you would implement. You must be surprised or confused or wondering that terminologies are basically interchangeable in the real life. That okay, I have designed a software, and sometimes you say I have developed a software, I have implemented a software, I have created a software. So basically those terminologies may be interchangeable in the real life, while in the computer science, the technical terminology, when you say design, it means how you have done it. And when you say that you have developed, it means how you have implemented or how you will implement it. While when you say implementation, then you really say that is basically the working thing, a working environment, a working solution in front of you. However, when you say that development phase is basically the how you will be implementing. Design is that how it would look like. So the implementation of the project should have been carried out through the idea, which is the initial phase, then the definition phase, which is basically what it is, and then it is the design phase, which is basically the how it would look like, and the development would be the phase of the how it would be implemented, means using what tools and technologies it would be implemented, and the implementation would be itself the actual working software. And the follow-up phase is basically the maintenance, that how you will be maintaining the software in reality. Project management stages. The initial phase. The initiation phase is the beginning of the project. In this phase, the idea for the project is explored and elaborated. So you explore the idea, you elaborate the idea. The goal of this phase is to examine the feasibility of the project. So the idea itself is directly dependent on the feasibility of the project, that whether the project is feasible to carry on or not. We discussed earlier about the feasibility, which really discussed on the technical aspects, the cost-wise aspects, and the usefulness of the project, that whether the feasibility is passed or not. In addition, decisions are made concerning who is to carry out the project. So initial phase, it is also important that whether it is, if it is doable, then you should need to know that who will carry out, which party or parties will be involved, whether the project has an adequate base of support among those who are involved. So whoever will be doing the project, do they have the adequate resources, support or not? So certain questions can be asked, certain questions can be answered in the initiation phase, which can be that why this project, is it feasible, who are possible partners in the project, what should be the result, what are the boundaries of this project, what is outside the scope of the project. So any idea, the initial phase should have answered these questions. If you can answer these questions, then your idea is mature. You can go ahead and implement it. Otherwise, your initiation phase is not complete. Definition phase is basically the what it is. After the project plan, which was developed in the initiation phase, has been approved, the project enters the second phase. This is the definition phase. In this phase, requirements that are associated with the project results are specified as early as possible. So you got an idea that you are going to develop something, whether it will be feasible or not. Once you approve it to go ahead with, you try to write the requirements of the project, that what will be included. It should have been clearly specified that what is associated with the project. This involves identifying the expectations that all of the involved parties have with regard to the project results. So you expect something in the requirement. Expectation could be the functionality in the form of the number of actions, maybe the data entry, maybe the printouts, maybe the reports, maybe the updation of the data, maybe the storage of the data, maybe processing, maybe interactivity within the organization, certain managerial softwares, and many more things involved into the specification. Whatever the specification, it would lie between the specification of the project, and specification is basically the definition phase. How many files are to be archived? Should the metadata conform to the data? So this is the detailed requirement, the technical requirement, what they need. How many files are to be archived? Should the metadata conform to the data documentation initiative format, or will be the Dublin core format suffice? So basically these are the more technical terms used within the database. In database, the files, may files be deposited in their original format, or will only those that conform to the preferred standards. So basically this is about the what must the depositor of the dataset ensure that it has been processed adequately in archive, or is this the responsibility of activist, which guarantees will be made on the result of the project. So basically what it will explain that what you need in terms of technical things, like if you want to develop a road, then it is the idea, and what it would include. It would be a cemented road, or it would be a kind of normal road, and would there be any marks or not. So everything would define what it is. Then there is design phase. The list of requirements that is developed in the definition phase can be used to make the design choices. So the requirements itself, the list of requirements, is basically the developed in the definition phase, so can be used to make the design choices. In the design phase, one or more designs are developed with which the project result can apparently be achieved. Depending on the subject of the project, the products of the design phase can include diagrams, sketches, flowcharts, sketches, flowcharts, site trees, HTML screen designs, prototypes, photo impressions, and UML schemas. So design, basically we discussed earlier that you need to represent the design of your project using some pictorial representation, which could be any sketch, any flowchart of the components, a site representation, a site tree representation, like there will be a software, there will be a component, then subcomponents, and subcomponents, they will have a functionality. It could be any HTML screenshots, it could be prototype, photo impressions, or it could be entirely represented with the UML schemas. So UML is the Unified Modeling Language. It is basically the can also be used at all, like it has the use cases, it has the class diagrams, it has the interaction diagrams, it has the collaboration diagrams, it has the activity diagrams, component diagrams. So by utilizing those components of the UML, you can entirely represent the design of the software very well. So you should be very much clear that your design phase is based on the list of the requirements, and the project's supervisors use these designs to choose the definitive design that will be produced in the project. This is followed by the development phase. Obviously, the design phase is the input to the development phase. As in the definition phase, once the design has been chosen, it cannot be changed in the later stage of the project. So overall, you are dealing with the design phase, and the design phase is being made on the requirements, and the design phase is basically the input to the next phase. So next phase is basically the development phase. So now let us see the how the development phase is. So is everything, are you getting very well my voice?
Sorry?
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I continue with the development phase. During the development phase, everything that will be needed to implement the project is arranged. Everything that will be needed to implement the project is arranged. So, as I discussed earlier, that the design, the development, implementation, they are interchangeably used in the normal life, but in practical, the development is basically the organizing that how you will implement. So everything that would be needed in order to implement, you need to provide, you need to arrange the development tools within the development, like the implementation tools to be arranged. So potential suppliers or subcontractors are brought in, a schedule is made, materials and tools are ordered, instructions are given to the personnel and so forth. So the development phase, once the development phase is complete, when the implementation is ready to start. So the development is basically, in simple words, that how you would implement, what you will use to implement. All matters must be clear for the parties that will carry out the implementation. There shouldn't be any issue that whether the particular tool is sufficient to use or not, whether particular design is adequate, approved or not. So everything should have been confirmed so that you can go ahead. Otherwise, the development, otherwise the implementation would not be sufficiently feasible to go ahead. In some projects, particularly small ones, a formal development phase is probably not necessary, because when you have a design, you could implement it, and the implementation team was very well aware that what they will be using. Probably they didn't have any choice that how you would be implementing. They would only be dependent on only the limited resources. That's why the implementation, the development phase is somehow not necessary uh, in small kind of projects. The important point is that it must be clear that what must be done in the implementation in the implementation phase, by whom and when. Now, the implementation phase itself. The project takes shape during the implementation phase. The software entity, the entity itself, the workable software is produced in the implementation phase itself. This phase involves the construction of the actual project result. This phase involves the construction of the actual project result. Programmers are occupied with encoding. Designers are involved in developing the graphical material. Contractors are building. Actual reorganization takes place. It is during this phase that the project becomes visible to outsiders. It comes into the existence, and to whom it may appear that the project has just begun. Implementation phase is the doing phase. It is important to maintain the momentum. So everything In actual, the development is basically carried out in the implementation. However, the development itself, the design, the definition, all these things are really basically non-practical things, but the activity is being shown in front is basically the implementation task. Then a follow-up phase comes. Although it is extremely important, the follow-up phase is often neglected. Why? During this phase, everything is arranged that is necessary to bring the project to a successful completion. Follow-up name is basically the maintenance. The maintenance itself is always very difficult to follow. People do not bother, do not care about the maintenance. Probably they don't know or they avoid because of the resources. They only focus on the implementation. Why? The reason is examples of activities in follow-up phase include writing handbooks, providing instructions and training for the users. So when you really want the system to run adequately, then obviously you should have some proper documentation so that nobody should use the system in wrong way. Setting up a help desk, maintaining the result, evaluating the project itself, writing the project report, holding a party to celebrate the result that has been achieved, transferring to the directors, and dismantling the project team. So basically, those concerns which are normally neglected but are most important in order to produce a successful software over the time by passing through certain documentations, instructions, trainings, help desk, maintaining the results, the evaluating the project itself for its sustainability, for its functionality, whatever the constants are to be evaluated come under those the requirements which are the maintenance and also called the follow-up. The new topic is design. We were discussing basically the implementing a project, how you will be implementing. Obviously, you will be implementing the project based on idea, which is the initiation, definition, design, development, implementation, and follow-up. And this design is basically the new topic, that developing an information system. And what is the role of the design? Like here, implementing through the stages. Now we come to the design, coding and testing, evaluation individually into the more detail. The design, as we discussed earlier, the design phase is the architectural phase of the system design. The flow of the data processing is developed into the charts. The project team determines the most logical design and structure of the data flow and storage. For the user interface, the project team designs mock-up screens, layouts that the developers uses to write the code for the actual interface. So this is a kind of general definition, while we discuss in more detail here the design phase, how the design phase can go ahead. And the code, the construction of the code is basically the implementation we discussed earlier. And testing. Now the maintenance was basically the discussed in the follow-up phase, which was producing the handbooks for the users, instructions and help decks, maintenance results, evaluating the project. And however, the testing phase is really most important, and it has a different approach, a kind of different testing methods which really need to be considered. Like during the test phase, all aspects of the systems are tested for functionality and performance. Basically, the functionality and performance are classified into the functional and non-functional requirements. When you say that the functionality, it means that options, the operations implemented, and the performance is basically the quality of the system, that what is the quality, what is the quality of the operations which they can be assessed. So the system is tested for integration with other products, that's the functionality, as well as any previous versions with which it needs to communicate. Essentially, the key element of the testing phase are to verify that the system contains all the end user requirements laid out in the analysis phase. The analysis, what did you analyze? That all functions are adequately processing the data. So testing is basically what is the requirement, assess it, and what functions are being executed. The initial phase, what was required and what was provided, is basically the testing. That the new system works with all other systems or prior systems, and that the new system meets the quality standards of the company and customers. So the testing could be basically based on certain types of the testing, like a black box testing, or it could be the white box testing. When it says the black box testing, it means you are testing the system as a whole, as a black box, its overall functionality. And when you are doing the white box testing, it means the testing is based on the internal components with a clear magnifier into every piece of the code, and how you basically how those components are being tested individually. So testing is most important. And design and construction we already discussed. Deployment is also an important phase. The purpose of deployment phase of the software development lifecycle is to put the product into production. After the project team tests the product and the product passes each testing phase, the product is ready to go live. This means that the product is ready to be used in a real environment by all end users of the product. So deployment is basically the production of the software after the project team has tested the project, and they are producing, they are outsourcing or selling the software, or handing over the software, or you are basically installing the software for the intended purpose. User evaluation. User evaluation, are you able to hear me well?
Sorry?
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I'm hearing very well.
Okay. User experience or user experience assessment refers to the collection of methods, skills, and tools utilized to uncover how a person perceives a system. Tools, methods utilized in order to perceive a system, product, service, non-commercial item or anything before, during and after interacting with it, it is a non-trivial to assess user experiences. User experience is subjective, context development, dependent and dynamic over time. Evaluation basically is the assessment using certain tools to perceive a system, that how the system is performing. You need to evaluate it. So you need to consider that you are basically evaluated, your system is evaluated by a user. Feedback mechanism. Basically we are discussing the evaluation of the information system. So the user evaluation is important. It has to be identified that how a user is perceiving the system and what is the assessment of the system by the user. Do they feel comfortable? Do they feel that it is an effective system? Is there any missing into it, or it is a complete? How it is well functional? Feedback mechanism. A feedback mechanism is a process that uses the conditions of one component to regulate the function of the other. When the process tends to increase the change in a system, the mechanism is known as positive feedback. The negative feedback is when the process seeks to counter the change and maintain an equilibrium. This is a general term mechanism. That feedback mechanism is basically the feedback, the improvement, the output of one component based on the input. So overall, whenever you try to change the system, you try to change the inputs of the system, and what do you expect into the next phase of the software, whether it is capable to produce the sufficient output or not. So every of your functionality testing is depending on the feedback from one component to another component and vice versa, and then you are doing it basically into the equilibrium, and you analyze and you come up with an evaluation. So as already explained, the testing and evaluation is the process by which a system or components are compared against the requirements and specification through testing. So testing and evaluation is basically what was the requirement and how the system is delivered. The results are evaluated to assess the progress of the design, performance, supportability. So what was the design, how is the performance, how it is its support is basically the test and evaluation. The developmental test and the evaluation is an engineering tool used to reduce the risk throughout the acquisition cycle. The operational test and evaluation is the actual and simulated employment by typical users of a system under realistic operational conditions. So basically, evaluation and testing is not only done by the users, but you can test the feasibility, the evaluation of you can test the software by different ways, using different tools and using different simulation softwares about the sustainability of the software. Change request. Basically, we are discussing the improvement to the system. The improvements can only be made if the changing requirement challenges are taken care. A change request is a document containing a call for an adjustment of a system. It is of a great importance in the change management process. So, all of a sudden, or maybe after the development, when you realized that you need a change in the software at any stage, is basically the change request. A change request is declarative, i.e., it states that what needs to be accomplished but leaves out how the change should be carried out. Obviously, changing is difficult. Important elements of the change request are the ID, the customer ID, the obviously, like, these are the terminologies where it needs to be done, where the change needs to be done. It could be into the any of particular development. It could be any of the idea. It could be change in the database. For example, here a customer ID, deadline, and any of the change expected. So change requests typically originate from 5 sources: problem reports that identify bugs that must be fixed, which forms the most common source. So, in your software, at certain stages or at many stages, the bugs are basically the force you to do the implementation, to do the any changes by re-implementing or incorporating those changes, so that you should be free from the bug. So the change request could be the problem report due to a bug, a system enhancement request from the users. A change request could be from the users when they really wanted to enhance the performance, capability, or the size of the system. Then you can get the change request. Events in the development of other systems, possibly other systems, due to other system you might need a change. There could be any changes in the underlying structure or standards. Maybe in software development, this could be a new operating system. So you might require a change because of the underlying system. Why? Possibly you wrote a code, you did a program, which idea, that particular lines of code are not supported in particular version of programming language. Then at some stage you need to change the code. You need to write the code of the older version of the language. Demands from senior management, possibly you did well, but based on the senior management suggestions, you really wanted to change the code or change anything. So because we are talking about the change request. Additionally, in project management, change requests may also originate from an unclear understanding of the goals and objectives of the project. So possibly your initial stage was not clear and you came up with incorrect goals. You came up with the unclear specification. You found the unclear, incomplete specification of the system, and because of the unclear or incomplete specification, you had to change the project itself. Scalability is a characteristic of the system, model, or function that describes its capability to cope and perform under an increased or expanding workload. If you made a system for 100 users and you wanted to work the system for 200 users, it means you are asking for scalability of the system. A system that scales well will be able to maintain or even increase its levels of performance or efficiency when tested by larger operational demands. Bug fixing. Bug fixes also may be used. Bug fixes also may be used in specific company protocols for identifying and fixing bugs. For example, IBM informed development team about bugs through an authorized program analysis report. The bug fix is issued when the bug has been fixed, and report represents an effective resolution to the problem. One of the most common of applications of bug fixes is a technical protocol that is used to identify various types of bugs so they may be effectively resolved. The type of the system used in many organizations is known as open ticket system, where a bug is identified with a certain number and record open on a particular bug. So bug fixing is a general term used in software development, certain forums about the bugs, and the bugs are to be removed into the different versions. Whenever the new software releases into the versions are released, then they really announce that that particular version is bug free from particular bug, and so on. So bug fixing is the fixing those problems which were not seen at the testing time. However, those bugs were can be fixed at later stages. A plant maintenance is the plant preventive maintenance, more commonly referred to as a simply plant maintenance or scheduled maintenance, is any variety of scheduled maintenance to an object of an equipment. Specifically, plant maintenance is an scheduled service visit carried out by a component and suitable agent to ensure that an item of equipment is operating correctly and therefore avoid an unscheduled breakdowns and downtime. You must have seen that the software or the website is under the maintenance. So it's about the plant maintenance. They announce in advance that there will be a maintenance carried out into that particular time. Plant maintenance has some advantages over condition based on the maintenance, such as easier planning of maintenance and ordering spares. Costs are distributed more evenly. No initial cost for instruments used for the supervision of equipment. Support is after-sale service provided by the software publisher or vendor in solving software conflicts and usability problems, and in supplying updates and patches for bugs and security holes in the program. So these concerns are for the improving an information system. If you have a support, you are trying to improve plant maintenance, you are trying to improve bug fixing, you are trying to improve scaling, you are trying to improve change requests, you are trying to improve. We discussed evaluation, discussed development, discussed design, and discussed implementation, and so on. So it was all about the learning outcome. Have any question about it?
No questions.
So Khalid?
No, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So I end this session now, and see you next week. And if you have still any questions after repeating the session, you are most welcome to ask by email or any time in next time. Yeah?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.